Good morning. My dad was born in Jenkins, a coal camp town located at the foot of Pine Mountain in Letcher County, Kentucky. And my grandfather, at the time, operated a barber shop for the Consolidation Coal Company in Jenkins. But most of his kin lived on the other side of the mountain in Wise County, Virginia, near the town of Pound. The road between Jenkins and Pound was, as you might imagine, was heavily traveled. It went up and over the mountain and through a gap called Pound Gap. And the song I'm going to do this morning tells the true story of a blood feud between two colorful mountain men. Ira Mullins, who was a small-time merchant and bootlegger, and Marshall Taylor, who was a spiritualist, a herb doctor, a preacher, and a revenue officer who had been deputized by the United States Marshal for the Western District of Virginia. And the event that took place on top of the mountain on the 14th of May, 1892, kind of sealed the fate for both of these men and many others as well. And the name of the song is the Pound Gap Massacre. And I'd like to send this out to my friend Jack Wright, who is a son of Wise County, Virginia. My daddy was born in the shadow of Pine Mountain on the Virginia-Kentucky line, where wildcat whiskey once flowed like a fountain through the coal camp towns near the mines. When daddy was a boy, he heard the story of the massacre at Pound Gap, how his kin were murdered, cut down in an ambush, dreadful, cowardly act. My bloodline runs through the hills and the hollers, long as a steam coal train, and the blood on the ground where the bullets rain down is the same blood that runs in my veins. Ira Mullins, a bootlegger, traveled to the mountains selling unstamped liquor by the barrel. One step ahead, the government revenuers, they could not find his still. Marshall Benton Taylor was a doctor and a preacher and a zealous deputy who carried 2 pistols and a Winchester rifle to enforce his authority. Their paths first crossed Wise Courthouse, Virginia. It was a fateful day. Marshall Taylor and a posse seized the load of Irish whiskey, gravely wounded Ira in the fray. 200 or more shots fired in a frenzy left many men wounded and one slain. Marshall Taylor soon lost his government position, and Ira Mullins never walked again. My bloodline runs through the hills and the hollers, long as a steam coal train, and the blood on the ground where the bullets rain down is the same blood that runs in my veins. Anger, fear, and resentment built up between them, and each wished the other man dead. Ira was a cripple and he blamed Marshall Taylor, put $300 on his head. Marshall Taylor got word Ira planned to travel with his family across the mountains through Pound Gap. He hired Calvin Fleming and his brother Young and Reckless to carry out a murderous attack. Ira and Louranza, their son John Harrison, Ira's sister Jane, and husband Wilson too. Boy Greenberry Harris, handyman John Chappel started out in the misty morning dew. While on top of the mountain, Taylor's men set up an ambush behind two large boulders near the road. Taylor took up position with his two hired assassins, waited for their wagon to approach. My bloodline runs through the hills and the hollers, long as a steam coal train, and the blood on the ground where the bullets rain down is the same blood that runs in my veins. Ira's wagon wound slowly up the steep side of the mountain, the team of horses straining at the load. The birds were sweetly singing and no one sensed the danger when gunfire exploded with a roar. In the blink of an eye, 5 lay dead or dying, their life's blood spilling on the ground. The killers escaped into the rugged mountains. A year passed, they could not be found. Finally Taylor was caught, tried, and when convicted, called down retribution on the judge's head. Dressed all in white, he went to the gallows, saying he would rise in 3 days from the dead. My bloodline runs through the hills and the hollers, long as a steam coal train, and the blood on the ground where the bullets rain down is the same blood that runs in my veins. 'Tis hard to break the tender cord when love hath found the heart. 'Tis hard to speak the words that we must forever part. Dearest loved ones, we have laid thee in thy peaceful grave's embrace. Thy memory will be cherished till we see thy heavenly face. My bloodline runs through the hills and the hollers, long as a steam coal train, and the blood on the ground where the bullets rain down is the same blood